Andy and Andy, I get the whole thing.
Yes.
Right. But I have to say that the most entertaining thing that happened on New Year's Eve, without any doubt on television, had to have been Pete Davidson and Miley Cyrus. And I can't believe you missed this.
I meant to watch them, but then, Jeff and I were dancing around and drinking champagne.
You don't flip the channels? You guys don't flip? You just keep it on one?
I flipped it at one point. I think I went to like the New Year's Rockin' Eve or whatever. Was that?
Okay.
That's the one with Ryan Seacrest.
That's Seacrest.
Yeah, I think I flipped over to his for a little while, but it didn't interest me, so I went back.
There could not be two more diametrically opposed.
So it was Pete Davidson and
Miley Cyrus,
Really?
a bunch of musicians, a couple of comedy bits. Pete Davidson looking uncomfortable and strange.
He looks like Beetlejuice.
Miley Cyrus without a top on. He does look like Beetlejuice. He's got like those big bug eyes. I saw the funniest meme the other day. It was like a guy looking under the bed with a flashlight. It's like me looking for Pete Davidson after my wife leaves for work. He's all over the place, that guy. Good for him. He's on a run. He's on an epic run.
He is on a
like
run.
No man I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Since I don't know. Who's one of those old guys who, what was that guy's name? The Dick Tracy guy. Not Dustin Hoffman.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. Yeah, Warren Beatty was a notable cocksman too.
He got around.
Miley Cyrus and Pete Davidson put on probably the most entertaining New Year's Eve
I like Miley.
that I have ever seen.
Miley.
I like Miley a lot. And you know what, Pete, for as strange as he is,
He's
he
okay.
just stood there and bent. He was strange. He added to the flavor of the whole situation.
Okay.
But Miley lost her top at least 3 times, which is, that's just Miley.
That's
who
standard.
amongst us hasn't seen Miley Cyrus naked?
Yeah, we've seen that.
And I got to say, it's kind of sexy. Like, Miley Cyrus is not the most conventionally good-looking woman in the world. She doesn't have that conventional, model, symmetric face kind of look about her. She's not Jennifer Aniston, like the girl next door look.
Right.
She's got a very unique look.
Yeah.
She's sexy as fuck.
Yeah, she is.
Because she is 100% in control of her.
It's confidence. Yeah.
Her confidence, her body, her voice. She knows what to do. She knows what to say. She's not letting anybody get in her way.
No.
And that to me is sexy as hell.
I agree. Confidence is a big sexiness booster.
When you lose your top on national TV and you say,
go, whoops.
and then you go, well, that's the most dressed I've ever been on television. That's what she said. It is just sexy as fuck. And I like Miley. And I will tell you, NBC will never again put this show on. Never. It will never happen because it was way too ruckus and raunchy, right? But it was so much fun. And you flip back over to Seacrest, who's doing the same fucking snooze fest that he's been doing for 27 years.
That's why I tried not to go back to that then. I was like,
you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is, I think, with Seacrest is that Seacrest got in bed with, I don't know, it might have literally gotten in bed with Dick Clark way back in the day.
Yeah.
Right? When Dick Clark was doing the New Year's Eve. For those of you that don't know.
Rockin' Eve.
Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. For those of you that don't know, it's really Dick Clark who started this broadcast television doing 4 hours, from 10 until, 1 in the morning doing this kind of party in Times Square, watching the ball drop. It was a Dick Clark production. Mm-hmm. And he did it because he had a show called American Bandstand.
Yes.
Where he would break bands. This is the thing that all the teenagers, everybody watched every week, once a week. Dick Clark would come on Saturday nights and he would do American Bandstand.
Yeah.
And the most popular bands are going to be popular bands. He was kind of like a kingmaker. Mm-hmm. Right? He would bring the bands on. They would be on American Bandstand, Beach Boys, whoever. You can Pointer Sisters, Madonna.
Yeah, a lot of people.
But then Dick Clark had a bunch of other television shows because he had a production company, and one of them was this New Year's Rockin' Eve. Seacrest, who's kind of like this guy who's just fallen upward.
He has.
It's just unbelievable. And I'm not. Seacrest, good for you. I'm not. I don't want to argue with anybody else's money, right? I don't want to.
I guess he's just a really hard worker, but he really got into everything.
Yeah, Dick Clark's pants or something. I'm not sure.
He started the Kardashians.
He did.
He did. He's done so much.
So he gets in bed with Dick Clark, and eventually he bought into Dick Clark Productions,
Yes.
and eventually he bought all of Dick Clark Productions after, or he, I don't know, maybe Dick Clark's family still owns some of it, but after Dick died. Ryan Seacrest got passed the torch a number of years ago for this New Year's Rockin' Eve. I think the problem is that Seacrest probably feels, first of all, he's older, right, than Miley Cyrus or Pete Davidson. So he's never been a particularly edgy kind of guy. He's never done anything edgy. Except the Kardashians is not edgy in a traditional sense. It's just a shit show that they put on television.
Yeah.
I think Ryan feels beholden to the way that Dick used to do it. This needs to be, this is an institution. We need to do it this way every year.
Go very vanilla.
Put on the musicians, have a few crowd interactions, watch the ball drop, make my $15 million, get the hell home, right? By the way, I watch that Kelly and Ryan sometimes in the morning. There is no one on earth who is phoning it in more than fucking Ryan and Kelly. They hate each other.
Do they?
They hate each other.
I thought they were really friends.
Krissy, we're really friends. Okay? These two might be friends, but they hate each other on air.
Okay.
They when one, you know.
I never watch it.
First of all, Ryan's like, Kelly, shut the fuck up. Kelly's like, she's turning into like a Xanax mom or something. I don't know. She's like this older lady now who's kind of wingbat, dingbat kind of girl who just says these totally crazy things. And Ryan's in his house, like, he's always sleeping. He's always reading the news while she's talking. He's always reading papers.
Not paying attention.
You can tell he does no show prep whatsoever. People come on. He's got a piece of paper, and he'll literally say, "It says right here, Jennifer Aniston, that you were on Friends." Can you tell us more about that? What's that like? Jennifer Aniston's like, what are you talking about? Says right here, Mr. Obama, that you once were the president. How'd that happen? It's like, Ryan, come on, man, put your heart into it. Give it something. Give it like some oomph or something. But he doesn't. He hates when Kelly talks, and he doesn't give a shit about what happens. He is phoning everything. Remember the time he fell asleep in American Idol? Do you remember that time?
No.
He fell asleep in American Idol. Some people thought he had a stroke. One of his eyes literally went in the back of his head, and people were like pointing it out. They were like, is Ryan okay? Yes, he's okay. He's taking his Xanax. He needs a nap. He took like 3 weeks off after that. The Fox made him take like 3 weeks off after that because they were like, man, we can't have you fucking nodding out from heroin or whatever you're doing here on live television.
Whatever you're doing, don't do it here.
Ryan hates his life. He can't fucking get a girlfriend. He's got to show up at these shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's always working. He's got no time for anything else. And then he's got to do Dick Clark's fucking Rockin' New Year's Eve. He's probably
not Rockin'.
Well, it's Dick, whatever. What is it called? Ryan Seacrest. Who cares?
I'm saying it's not Rockin'. It is called the Rockin' Eve, but it's not very rockin'.
Please, it's not rockin' at all.
I guess they have bands play.
They had Journey. That's what they had. They had Journey. Everybody had Journey. Oprah had Journey. Oprah. Dr. Phil had Journey. Ryan, Dr. Phil. You couldn't get Little Snizza or whatever. You couldn't get somebody to show up that had some relevance in today's society, but he can't because the people who watch Dick Clark are still fucking watching Ryan Seacrest, and he knows that. And he's got to go, well, in the 70s, that's about as far as we can get. We can bring it up to the 70s. Every year he's like, we can go to 72, 73. Because he doesn't want those people to leave, and he's got to have some ratings. This is why Ryan Seacrest's Rockin' Cockin' fucking New Year's Eve will always be a total snooze fest. That's right. And I hope if NBC is smart, this thing was produced by Lauren Michaels.
Okay.
If NBC is smart, they will let happen what has always happened with NBC. Let Lauren Michaels do what the fuck Lauren Michaels wants to do.
Yeah.
He should be running that network.
He should be running that network.
Everything he touches is gold.
It is.
Saturday Night Live is one of the most boring casts I've seen in years. Now, we always say this about the new cast, right? But it's one of the most boring casts I've seen in years, and they're still getting fucking ratings out the wazoo, and they got 1 billion YouTube views. You want to know why? It's because every once in a blue moon, Miley Cyrus comes, drops her top, and says something funny. That's what happens. And Pete Davidson shows up, and he's like a rock star because he's fucking everything hot on earth, okay?
Yes.
I'm telling you, let Lauren Michaels do what he wants to do, and keep that New Year's Eve special with Miley Cyrus. It was so fucking good.
I mean, I'll watch it now. They bring it back.
Yeah. Listen, I know that Andy and Andy are tailoring to a certain crowd. I think they're funny too. I like it. I understand. I get it. I get why those two together seems like an interesting pairing. But it's no longer fresh and new, right?
Yeah.
They're just like Andy's grasping at things to say that are going to be controversial and interesting. Like Journey's not Journey without Steve Perry. That is true. Steve Perry was the original, but the new guy
sounds almost exactly like him.
Sounds better than the old guy. Quite frankly, the new guy left. Yeah. So you know what? The new guy left. The old guy's here. I mean, the old guy left. The new guy's here. He sounds great. Yeah. Why not? I mean, Andy, and then people, and then it was a news story. Why was that a news story? Why do people fucking care what Andy Cohen has to say about Journey?
I don't know. I even
Slow
noticed
news day.
No. Apparently, though, people were like twittering, doing the tweets, and doing like made up names as it was scrolling across.
Yes,
that was pretty funny.
Well, the thing that they were getting at, Andy, is that he actually follows the Grateful Dead. He's like a deadhead.
He is.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's a deadhead. Meanwhile, half that band has been dead for years, and they just keep on finding new people. I mean, John Mayer is the new Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
So him saying that it's not Journey without the original singer it's just stupid. But you know what?
Well, cheers to a 2022.
Cheers to 2022.
Happy New Year.
You know what? We just spent a half an hour talking about what we watched on TV on New Year's nights. That tells you all you need to know about the commercial break. Welcome back, guys. I just told you what you missed while you were out getting laid, doing drugs, and having fun. In case you wonder what your parents were doing, I just told you. Oh my God, I've officially turned into a shithead.